Hi, welcome to another Lawn Fawn Cards video. Thank you so much for coming to watch. So right now I'm starting off with my standard card base, 5.5 by 4.25 inches, and it's brown cardstock from Papertrey ink. Then I've got out my polka dot basic stamp set with these sort of medium-sized polka dots, and I just put some Versamark in it, ink, which is the sticky and watermark ink that's good for embossing. So I'm just laying the polka dots across. This time I can't use my trick of going on the shorter side of the card because I just want them going across part of the top. They're not going to go over the whole card. So what I'm going to do is line up 2 of these down, and then I'm going to fill in the sides right now just by lining up with the grid and with the polka dots. So I'm just putting some white paper down there to catch the extra ink that might be on there, just so I don't get ink everywhere. And I'm just trying to line it up. You can see my head having to lean over there a little bit. And, you know, it looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but I've learned that if polka dots aren't perfect, it's okay. Everybody loves polka dots, and they're happy. And so just don't worry too much about making those polka dots perfect. And then next I'm getting out my clear embossing powder. Since I buy so much of it at a time, I actually keep it in this Tupperware with a spoon, like a plastic spoon in there. And then I don't have to worry about funneling back in. I can just kind of pour it over the paper. And one thing I really like, I just got this Papertrey cardstock, and I've learned that it embosses so beautifully. The clear embossing on it is just gorgeous. I love it. So, you know, I've just had fun doing that on the past couple cards that I've made. So I go just trying to clear it up, and then right now, you know, just trying to make sure that every polka dot has clear embossing powder on it. As you can see, it makes it a lot easier because, you know, I'm just funneling it going right back into the container. There's just one less step. Right there, I obviously got a little extra Versamark ink, and I'm trying to get it off, and of course I messed up again. But the good thing about the embossing powder before you melt it is you can just put more on. So that's kind of what I did, and I tried to scrape off a little bit there, but I decided to just leave it the way it was, going for my imperfect polka dots, because I just kept wiping off the embossing powder. So I'm just putting the lid back on my container so that I don't blow. That's one thing, you want to put the lid back on your embossing powder because you want to blow it all over the place with your heat gun. I've done that, and it's a huge mess, and vacuum cleaners don't really pick up that stuff very well. So anyways, here I am with my heat gun again. You're going to see it start turning, which is so fun. I could just watch this for hours. I don't know why. It's like calming for some reason for me. So as you can see, it's really taking on this beautiful dark shiny color off of this cardstock. I just love it. And so I'm just, you know, running that heat gun around, trying to keep it moving so that I don't, you know, burn the cardstock. Like I said, I've done it before. I've burned a hole through a cardstock. So I'm just keeping it moving, and then I'm just doing the back. I've talked about that before, to kind of keep the cardstock from warping. It helps kind of recenter the card. So right now I'm going to work with a Martha Stewart border punch, and I'm just going to line up the paper in the middle as much as possible. I really like this like little flower doily edge that she has. And this one is super easy to line up. You get 2 punches, and there's 2 images on either side, and you line up those 2 images with it, and you punch. So this one's, you know, it's pretty intuitive to figure out. So right now I'm just making sure it's lined up, and I kind of always hold it there with my finger, because if not, I think the paper tends to move and kind of be a little messy. So just going to go for the other side. Once again, you just take those 2 there and line up the 2. Just you don't have to count back or anything. The first one lines up with the first one, first image on the punch, and then just hold it in place and give it a good punch. I'm still trying to make sure I get it perfect there. And there I go, getting that punch. Now this one, sometimes it kind of sticks, so I just rip off that little piece there at the end. Anyways, I think it's really pretty. And here's some pattern paper that I have no idea where I got, but is really pretty. And I'm just adding some adhesive to it with my adhesive transfer gun. And I'm putting adhesive on the bottom of the paper and on the top of the decorative element, and that means that you end up getting adhesive everywhere that it needs to be. And I want just the flowers showing, so I'm lining up right now right at the top of these flowers, so that I get that, you know, that perfect look, like that, like just like a little scallop border. So I punched out 3 squares of white cardstock, and I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Majig with this little flower stamp. And I'm using Hibiscus Burst ink from Papertrey ink. It's like the prettiest pink. I just love it so much. So it's vibrant, but it's not hot pink. It's kind of in the middle. It's just really nice. So anyways, I'm using the Stamp-A-Majig, which is actually really great for this, because this image is kind of the flower itself, if you stamp it straight, is actually crooked, and I wanted it straight up and down, so that helped. So I did that 3 times, and now I'm taking out a stamp set that I love, that I have no idea where I got it. It's called My Sunshine, and I got it when I first started, and I don't know the company. It's not written anywhere on the stamps, but they have the cutest little sentiments on here, sing, laugh, and smile. So I'm going to be using those underneath these flowers and for the image. And you're going to see that this kind of has a red rubber effect, these stamps, but they have the image stamped on the back, so it's like getting red rubber and clear at the same time. That's a little stamping spot from Stampin' Up. It's called Tempting Turquoise, the ink. I like these little spots if you want to try out colors but you don't want to invest in the whole stamp pad. I got them for the craft inks because I didn't want the whole stamp pad in the craft ink, which is like the pigment ink for them. So I think they can be pretty worth it. You know, if you like all the colors, because it comes in the set of 12 of their sets of colors. I'm not a Stampin' Up demonstrator or anything, but I'm sure you could find one to help you find it if you like those little ink spot squares. Anyway, so I'm stamping Sing, Laugh, and Smile, and you can see how easy it is to line up because on the back the image is printed. So, and the text, the font is so fun, and the text is so fun that it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. So we have Sing, Laugh, and Smile, which I just think is so cute. So right now I'm just adhering that pattern paper and doily border that we had worked on before to the card with the polka dots showing at the top. And I'm just trying to line it up with the polka dots so that it's straight, because if it looks uneven with the polka dots, it would just drive anyone crazy. So, as usual, I'm taking my sweet time to do this. I wish I was better at eyeballing things, I really do. And then right now, I'm going to move on to doing these little elements. I'm putting some adhesive on the back of each white square and mounting it onto the same chocolate brown cardstock that the card base is made of. To put them on the card, just to give them a little frame. So I had to start using my little adhesive there because I ran out of tape on that big gun for the first time, and I can't remember how to load it. So I need to find a YouTube video. I think there's one on Craft Critique, which is a wonderful website. Check it out, craftcritique.com. I think there's a video on how to load it, so I need to find it because I keep you know, wishing I had it and then not actually loading the gun with a new tape. Anyways, so I just went through, I bordered all 3 of them, then I put these foam adhesive on the back. These are some square ones I found at Michael's because I'm running out of the other ones, and they're super tall foam adhesive. It's kind of neat, but they're kind of expensive for how many come. So I put all 3 down, started with the middle again to make sure it's centered, and that's my card. I think it's super cute. I made this one originally for my friend Jasmine and her bridal shower. So anyways, shout out to Jasmine, and here's some pictures. Thank you so much for watching.